It is a beautiful day here at the Grand Canyon National Park. And if I had a nickel for every time I'd be here, I've been here, I should say. Well, no, not if I had a nickel. Maybe if I had a $20 bill for every time I'd be here, I could go out and have a pretty nice dinner. So I've been to the Grand Canyon National Park now probably the better part of, I don't know, half a dozen times over the years. Never been here on a unicycle, so this is the first. And I'm going to bring you along for just a quick visit. I'm only going to be here an hour or two, something like that, and then it's on with the rest of the trip. But anyway, let's start with we're going to start with the visitor center, and then we'll go check out, I think it's Mathur Point or something like that. So let's go see the Grand Canyon National Park. All right, it's not like you couldn't go back and look at some of my previous visits and come into the visitor center, but might as well bring you along for the visit today. And they've got some nice information here about the canyon as home, and they're talking about the Native Americans and the living history. Well, let's step inside. One nice thing about having a unicycle, you don't have to lock it that often, because who's going to steal a unicycle? So here is they'll greet you when you just come in, and this would be this would be a boat. You can see the guys up here. That would have been the adventurers. Look at those rough and rugged guys there. And here is the boat that they would have taken down the river. And there it is. Surveying for dams. Engineers and politicians wanted to dam the river to control flooding, to produce electricity, to capture its water. It's the Colorado. So this is what they would have gone down the Colorado in. This is called the Glen. This and 4 similar wooden boats were used by the 1921 to 23 USGS expeditions. There's a picture right there. Must have been quite the adventure. It was man-killing work to handle the 900-pound boats over the rocks, and almost as hard to portage the equipment. Quad bird's eye expedition leader. And here's the LTC. It's wonderful that she's able to see the Grand Canyon before heading back to Hungary.
Each trail rocks and sediment more than 10 miles into the earth. Intense pressure and heat transformed this very material into the Vishnu basement rocks, the foundation of the Grand Canyon region. Even as the mountains formed, erosion tore at them. Eventually, the once deeply buried basement rock lay exposed on the surface. But it wouldn't remain on the surface for long. The stage was being set with the introduction of new sediment. By 1.2 billion years ago, continental growth had left the Grand Canyon region embedded in an ancient supercontinent at the edge of a narrow inland sea. Rivers rich with mud and sand flowed into this marine basin. Waves and tides sorted and distributed these sediments, and the sea added its own layers of limy mud. Look below the surface and see how each deposit became a distinct rock layer, cemented under pressure from the layers above. Interruptions in this accumulation left gaps in the rock record. Some interruptions were relatively brief, but others produced profound changes. Beginning 650 million years ago, the ancient supercontinent began to break up. As it did, the basin was stretched and uplifted, shattering the neatly stacked rock layers. Erosion took a heavy toll as well. The broken and scattered layers that remain are known as the Grand Canyon Supergroup. But there were many new layers to come. The land sank along the newly formed coast, and the processes of rock formation resumed. Often these layers captured the likenesses and remains of the creatures that lived here, from scary trilobites and slithering worms that scavenged the mud, to the sailback dimetrodon that roamed the shoreline. Layers continued to form until the rocks we see today were deeply buried. But how did these sheets of rock become Grand Canyon? What changes would the next act of our story bring to make this possible? One of the more striking things about these rocks is not how they formed, but where they rest today. The Kaibab limestone, the canyon's youngest rock layer, holds marine fossils, and yet the layer now sits as high as 9,000 feet above the sea where it formed. The forces that lifted rock layers to these heights were part of the same geologic event that built the Rocky Mountains 70 million years ago. In contrast to the jagged Rockies, uplift in this region was gentle, leaving relatively flat, unbroken layers. Unbroken, but not unchanged. Immediately, the youngest layers began to erode. Much of what had been laid down was scoured by wind and washed away by water. As the landscape evolved, new streams and rivers flowed across its surface, slowly shaping the land until the Colorado River's course was established 5 million years ago. During this time, signs of water's transforming powers were everywhere. Heavy spring runoff cut a path through soft mudstone at the surface and into harder layers of sandstone and limestone beneath. The next flood gouged a little deeper, setting the process and course of erosion in motion. Along the Colorado River, floods were impressive. Some carried 500,000 cubic feet of water every second, with tumbling boulders the size of trucks, together carving much more than water alone. The river swiftly cut through rocks that formed over hundreds of millions of years. Although the carving power of glaciers never touched Grand Canyon, climatic shifts swept the entire continent. During the most recent ice age, people arrived in North America, and they would leave their mark. We don't know exactly when people first saw Grand Canyon, but we know they saw an environment different than today's. Conditions were cooler and wetter, with more vegetation, and huge mammals roaming the canyon country. The first bands of big game hunters found mammoths, mastodons, and giant ground sloths. But as the climate warmed and dried, the largest animals died out, and the hunters began to seek smaller game. Their survival demanded an intimate knowledge of the canyon's native plants and animals. The tools they left give us a glimpse into their lives.
So let's continue on with the
1,500 years ago, farming had spread across the Southwest. Water sources.
It's always good when they have nice presentations like that, and I can share them with you. Here's a topographical view of the canyon. Look at this. So you can see off to the left is Lake Mead, and then it follow that river down through the canyon. You can see right where we're at. Right there. And just up ahead they have a film that you can watch. Get some information. It's actually quite crowded today. Getting a parking spot wasn't necessarily all that easy to do. Over here they have some stuff on display. This is a split twig figurine. Split-twig figurines like this one have been found in dry caves within the canyon, usually under rock cairns. Their careful placement suggests that the figurines may have been part of hunting rituals. Look at that. Here you have seeds of change. People in the canyon hunted and gathered food like pinyon nuts. They followed seasonal cycles to gather wild foods as they ripen. Here you see prospector early support. Prospectors came to the canyon seeking their fortunes, but it was not easy. In 1893, a miner left this box of supplies with a note saying, "If you need anything in it to use, take it, but do not destroy or waste."
Oh, that, I don't know what, that might be another show or something, but, oh, that way, great cross,
Daddy had some photographs of some women there, and there's a pipe. Let me get a view of these for you. Like a bottle with some booze. The purpose and policy of prohibition in all phases. All right, so let's. I gotta find the LTC somewhere and get on with the tour. She hasn't seen the Grand Canyon yet. We're still in the visitor center. Just out of the visitor center, I thought I would take a shot of these flowers for you before heading down to Mathur Point. I know good old Phil back in central Michigan. Every time I see something like this, I think of him and his wonderful garden back there. So now it's on with the show, so to speak, and I'm going to see if I can't get on my unicycle here, and off we go.
On a unicycle!
All right. I don't know if anybody's ever been on a unicycle here at the Grand Canyon. I would imagine so. But nonetheless, it's always a sight when people see you riding on the unicycle. Oftentimes they'll say, "Hey, you lost your other wheel," or something like that. So up we go to Mathur Point. There's the LTC right there. And I'm hoping that I can capture her looking at the Grand Canyon for the first time. Grand Canyon actually impressed Skip Smith, which really takes quite a bit to impress Skip Smith of the villages. Having a unicycle is very, very handy trying to get around.
What's up, guys? I got a bicycle with one wheel.
Here's your Jehovah's Witnesses. What national park would be complete without Jehovah's Witnesses? Actually, really, really wonderful people. The Jehovah's Witnesses that I've met. You hear me coming out of breath. And this couple, I think, you were at the Olive Garden last night. Okay. So somewhere up here is the rim. Ooh. Boy, I'm out of breath. And that tells you something, that I'm out of shape. But so I'll wait for the LTC. Whoops. She's just behind me. LTC is the acronym for the lovely travel companion.
You can write that?
The track symbol?
That's crazy.
I took a picture.
There's a Something here on the ground. Tribute to the Canyon Home. They have different, they have as the Apache, Navajo, Zuni, what have you. Okay, so here comes the lovely travel companion walking up here. Since the last day that I'll be traveling with her. And let's walk up to the rim right here. Mathur Point Overlook, just up ahead. It's a beautiful day. Somewhere I believe that there is a glass overlook you can walk out on. So here, folks, is the grandest of canyons, just up ahead. Here it is. Look at this. Is that a Grand Canyon or what? Look at that. Really something else. All right, let's walk down just up ahead to Mathur Point. Actually packed a rather nice picnic today. I have guacamole and chips and tuna sandwiches with I got some hummus, fresh cantaloupe, nicely sliced. All the fixings for a nice picnic here at the Grand Canyon as I follow behind the ever so lovely travel companion here. She's carrying the camera with her. It's a shame she didn't want to participate in the videos as we've been traveling, but that's okay. Stephen Ting Mathur. He laid the foundation of the National Park Service, defining and establishing the policies under which the areas shall be developed and conserved, unimpaired for future generations. There will never come an end to the good that he has done. And here you have it, folks. Look at that. People taking selfies. Wonderful. Don't even really need to describe this. It describes itself. Look at this. One thing I've never done is gone to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Like pan down a little bit.
Oh, that's
Quite a sight to behold at sunset.
We'll see some more around here.
Just as if you were here yourself, isn't it? Give a shout out to the one and only Carlo down under in Melbourne. I don't think Carlo's ever been to the Grand Canyon before. Look at that. Let's look down. Give you a shot straight down. All right, I think it's probably about lunchtime. Gotta find Victoria. Here she is. It's been the joy of my life for the last almost 30 days. All right, lunchtime. All right, I guess lunch can wait. You know, one thing nice about the Grand Canyon and a lot of the national parks, they're very well maintained. You can see them riding along on a nice path here. And if you don't want to walk the rim, you can come up here and catch the shuttle bus right here. This is the Kaibab rim route. So you can just wait for the bus to come along. It sounds like they are natural gas. So we don't have a lot of time today at the Grand Canyon, but try to make the most of it. It's not exactly too hot here. It's rather pleasant. Here is the sign saying the Yavapai observation station is half a mile. It's another view out. You never get tired of looking at this. I believe it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. And here we be at another outlook. It's a rather nice walking along the rim here. It's a good hike. You can go by mule down to the bottom of the canyon. You know, it's wonderful to be able to share something like this with somebody who very may well otherwise have never seen something like this in their life. They could have, but there's more people than not around the world that have never seen this. Look at that. No sooner had I told the LTC that surprised we haven't seen any elk when I saw a big smile on her face, and she looked over here, and lo and behold, Here is a big old elk, just kind of grazing. It's a female, and during the I don't know, the rutting season or what have you, the males can get quite protective. You see that? Off she goes. They're big animals. Really, really big animals. There you go. All right. I don't think she wants to be bothered too much. All right. On with lunch. She's probably glad she's not on the menu. All right, so it's time for the ride on the bus. We are we're going to take a hike. We're going to take a hike down, I don't know, it's called Yak something point. So we're going to take a hike. The TLC wants to walk down into the canyon a little bit. I hope she doesn't want to walk down and find a spot where she can push me over. But anyway, so this is the bus here. It's a rather nice air-conditioned bus. It kind of reminds me, I think the last time that I rode a bus, I was in Budapest, as I never back. But anyway, so we're going to wrap this up by doing a I can't control this camera. We're going to wrap this up by doing a short hike down into the canyon a little bit, and then head on back to Flagstaff. We found ourselves to the second to the last stop on the Orange Route, and this is the trailhead, and it's the exact same spot where Mercedes and I took a nice hike when we were here. And what I remember is just over here is the corral with the donkeys, the pack mules, if you will, that'll take you down to the bottom of the canyon. And I remember seeing, I think they take the U.S. postal mail down on Mule. So I don't know how well you can see them. They're kind of chilled back out of the sun, just kind of hanging in the shade of their shelter there. You can see. So maybe if I had an apple, I could lure one over, but there you have it. One of these days, I'll take a donkey ride down to the bottom of the canyon. If I'm pronouncing it correctly, it's the South Kaibab, K-A-I-B-A-B trailhead. So we'll walk down a little ways into the canyon, maybe grab a few pictures along the way before heading back to the beautiful city of Flagstaff. And I'm not sure if this trail goes all the way down to the bottom or not. It's asking if you have a realistic plan. Grand Canyon National Park responds to emergent requests from 600 hikers and runners during the hot summer months.
Maybe one day.
So here it is. Here's your trailhead. Right over yonder. And if I fan and look down, you can see some folk down there. Might even see some mule coming up and down with some people riding. But it's a rather nice hike. There's the LTC taking her pictures.
We have to watch it when we get home.
I do.
Getting keys.
I'm telling her to please update.
Please up.
Oh, she's sending at 10 a.m. Must have been real good.
Must have been real good.
Oppa.
You have to watch the new Nintendo Direct.
Gotta be careful. Ranger was telling me that they've had several people every month that'll be taking a selfie somewhere along the way here and fall into the canyon and either die or wish they had died.
Thursday we went to a place called Slide Runner, which is
All right. I gotta wait and see what the boss wants to do, whether or not we're gonna hike down a little bit. And down we go. Not quite sure how far the boss is gonna take me down the trail, but we'll see, as the saying goes. I'm gonna miss her after tomorrow. She's heading home to Magyarország tomorrow morning at a Flagstaff at about 6 a.m. But all in all, it's been a great trip. Look at that view. I don't think we'll come across many people that made it to the bottom. You folks make it to the bottom?
Just to Cedar Ridge.
Ah, okay.
So,
All the way to the bottom is
long way.
Long way.
3 or 4 hours of hiking,
Yeah, I would imagine.
and then double that coming back.
All right. Now right here would be a really nice spot for a photo. Maybe we can get the LTC to go out there. All right, and thus ends another trip to the Grand Canyon National Park. Who knows if and when I'll be back, but it was a nice visit. I enjoyed it. I hope the TLC did, or the LTC rather. TLC, I don't know what the hell that is, but the LTC, I hope she enjoyed it, and on with the trip.